Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. How is everybody doing today? Well, I am going to work on Stitch this afternoon, because it's no longer morning, it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So what we're working on is we're working on little Mr. Stitch here, and I got quite a bit of him done, but we're going to keep going. I hope everyone had a good evening last night, and that you're making progress on any of your progress projects. Lord, I can't even speak. Today, I worked on the gold lion last night and did some cross stitching. So I figured I'd work on Mr. Stitch here for a little while. Try to get him done. I hope y'all are enjoying my videos. If you are, leave a like and a comment. That way I know you're enjoying them. And if you're new, maybe consider subscribing. It'd be nice. Yeah, I was looking the other day, and on July the 18th, which is in a couple of days, I will have been doing videos on YouTube for 1 year. So I've got a 1 year anniversary coming up. Well, I tell you what, I didn't realize how quickly the time had flown. I understand KY Philly, I think she said she's got a 2 year anniversary coming up, or has already come up. I can't remember. I don't remember if it was on the 14th. I can't remember the date, to be honest with you. I don't remember. But she's got a 2 year anniversary coming up. So, yeah, we're all getting a little bit older, I think. But it's fun. Yeah, like I said before, that uh, Linda and Bella, she's the one that got me into making videos. You know, she said, just try it, and if you don't like it, you don't have to do it anymore. And I said, well, that's true. So I tried it, and I've been at it ever since. And yeah, I enjoy watching everybody and their videos. Yeah, I just got done watching uh, Dari White. She's doing a video, and she got herself a Diamond Art Club painting, a huge one, yeah, a great big one, and it had a lot of, she told me, she said how many, it had something like 75 colors or something in it. Then again, it may have been more, I don't remember, but it had a lot of colors in it. So, but it was a landscape, it was really pretty. I hope you don't mind the music. Right now, it's called Magical Fantasy Music and Ambiance. So I figured I'd listen to it this time around. Something a little different. Yeah, my daughter, She just left to head for work. Yeah, she has to leave here about 2:30, quarter to 3, in order to be at work on time. And she made barbecue chicken in her Instapot. We got scalloped potatoes and uh, and sweet carrots for dinner tonight. Yeah, she didn't cook yesterday. She had we had a bunch of leftovers, and so her and her husband uh, ate their leftovers, and then Jesse, my grandson, he ate. He cooked up a pizza, one of those Red Baron pizzas. And me, I just came out and made a couple of good grilled cheese sandwiches, and that's what I had for dinner. Yeah, I make my grilled cheese sandwiches in the air fryer. It, that way I don't have to deal with any butter and all of that. And the girls are over there next to the air conditioner playing. So yeah, my grandson scared poor Frankie to death last night. He was sitting out there on the porch with my daughter, and I had let the cats out, and it was late. It was about 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, and my grandson had a like a styrofoam plate, a type like a paper plate, and he was sitting there talking to my daughter, and Frankie, she was focused in on something. She was tracking something. I don't know, probably a bug or something, and so she was really focused on that. And my grandson leaned over with the paper plate, and he folded the paper plate in half to throw it away, and it made that popping noise, and it was right next to her. She about come apart at the seams, of course. Scared her to death, and so needless to say, she was ready to come in. She is such a scaredy cat, I swear. Least little sound, and if it's unusual, she's not used to it. Boy, it just throws her for a loop. And so anyway, I tell you that Frankie, she keeps me laughing all the time. Because she does some of the strangest stuff. Mm. Yeah. Ah, my finger slipped. Sorry about that. I hope you can hear everything fine. And then I've got you on camera, okay? I got you up above my head, kind of. And so I kind of changed the angle just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I got one of my orders that came in from Temu. I ordered some of these, um, yeah, they're like clips that you use for sewing, and I ordered a bunch of those, and they came in yesterday. And because I ordered some pre-cut fabric, the 4-inch squares, and I'm gonna try to do I'm gonna try, no guarantees, I'm gonna try to do a patchwork quilt. Again, Miss Linda has inspired me again. But I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a shot. And see if I can do it. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to do patchwork quilts and piecing it together and that kind of stuff. So we'll see. And the color that I'm using is, let's see, it's 796. Yeah. Knocked a bunch of them over. So I'm picking them up. Anyhow, but we are making some progress on stitch here, because as you can see, I worked on a lot of this right in here yesterday, and I want to work on this in here. This is the C's and the 9s in this group right here, and 9 is 600, and C, if I can find it, is 3804. So those are the colors. When I get done with these T's, I'll probably switch over to them. Yeah. And I try to keep them as straight as I can, but sometimes it doesn't work out. And you gotta kind of jiggle them around a little bit. Yeah, I got these bundles of material from Temu, and they're like 100 4-inch square cotton material, and they have all different colored patterns and that correspond with each other and will look good together on a quilt. So I bought a couple of bundles. I got one bundle that it's got 100, or it's 180, I think, 4-inch squares, and those are solid colors to intermix with the other colors that I got, which are printed, flowers and prints and stuff. So I'm gonna give it a try and try to do a quilt. I'm not gonna promise anything, but luckily I didn't spend that much for it. I think the most expensive bundle was the solids, and I think there was 180 4-inch squares in there of varying colors, and I think it was like $6 and something. And then the other one was, I think, 100, and it was like $4.99, something like that. It wasn't that much. So I figured, well, why not? And then what I plan on doing, because my ex-husband, when he was young, how they made extra money was by putting together quilts. And what they would do is, there was this place here in Georgia, right, just outside of Lafayette. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was a shirt factory, and they were making, the cotton shirts and stuff, the button downs, and they were all different patterns and plaids and whatever. And they would go over there and they would get the scraps from the company. They would just give them away at that time, and they would gather up all the leftover material, and they'd bring them home and cut them up and turn them into and sew them together and turn them into quilts. And then what they used to do is I don't know if anybody is old enough to remember, but years ago, you used to be able to pick up these old, we used to call them army blankets. And they were made out of, I think they were made out of wool. And anyhow, we used to get them, those, dirt cheap. You can get them for $2 or $3 a piece for them. And the reason they were so cheap is because a lot of people didn't like the wool. And so what they do is they would put a top, they would sew together a patchwork quilt top on it. And then they would also do the same on the back. So we'd have like two different patterns of patchwork. And then what they would do is sandwich that wool army blanket in the middle of it. And then they would quilt it. And that's how they used to, him and his siblings used to make extra money back in the day. Because they were very, very poor. He had 8 brothers and sisters. And so that's how the older siblings would work together on making quilts and then sell them. And that would give them extra money for food and stuff. Back in the day, sometimes that's what you had to do. Nowadays, young people nowadays are spoiled. They just about got everything given to them on a platter. Whereas my ex-husband was a bit older than me, because when we got married, I was 20. Yeah, I was 20. And at that time, he was like 34. So he was about 14 years older than me. And so he was born in 1943 is when he was born. And so he grew up in a different era. Okay. See, I grew up in a later, and I came from a different era and different family. I didn't have 8 or 9 brothers and sisters. I just had myself and 2 brothers, and that was it. So I came from a smaller family. And so we didn't have to struggle like him and his family had to. Things were a whole lot different back then. And so, but that's what they used to do in order to make a little extra money. That, and he would pick up. Um, Back then, they used to be able to turn in beer bottles and for money, and they used to collect beer bottles. You go to the back behind the bars in Chattanooga, and he would collect all the beer bottles, and then he would take and turn them in uh, and get little extra little money. Him and his sister both. They were him and his oldest sister. You know, they took care of the kids, and his mom uh, had to work, and she was a waitress at one place, and then she was a maid at a hotel, right? So, and you know, back then they didn't make much money, and her trying to raise 8 children by herself because her old man um, left. And back then they didn't pay child support, not like they do today. And so anyway, so they had a rough time. But anyway, that's what they used to do to make a little extra money, was make these patchwork quilts and then sell them and use the money to, you know, pay the rent or buy groceries or whatever. And that's just the way it was. That's why I say a lot of young people, they grow up and they didn't have to struggle the way the older generation had to. I thought I saw a TV. I think we're done with the teas. There we go. And yeah, I think that's it on the teas. I don't see any more. And so anyway, I'd never done a quilt before, and so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. You know, I might actually enjoy it. Oop, yeah. And come on. Now, like I said the last time I did a video, I think I told you about getting the sewing machine that I bought 3 or 4 years ago, and and it was like $150 sewing machine, and I got it for $35. I think it was they were discontinuing it. I think. Let's see, what do we want to work on? I got Y's here. I got some J's. I got a bunch of J's. It's number 12. And so I got a sewing machine, and I figured, why not use it, right? It's just sitting there. I bought this thing. I used it a couple of times, okay? And then I just closed it up and put it away, and I just didn't do anything more with it. But I wasn't going to throw it away or give it away either. So I knew sooner or later it would come in handy. So I'm going to give it a shot and try to make a quilt. We'll see. But, let me see. What did I do with them? These are the pins that I bought. I think there's like 50 of these in here. Whoop. And these are the fabric clips rather than using pins. If I can get a hold of it. There we go. And they're just little teeny tiny clips. I'm assuming you can see this. Probably not. I think I bumped you. I did. As always. But anyway, that's what they are. They're just little tiny clips. And so I got those. I got those through Temu. I think there's like 50 of them in here, and I think I paid like 250, 260, something like that. It wasn't much. And then um, so I'm pretty much ready to start doing some quilting, or let's put it as piecing the quilt top together. So we'll see. I kind of figure I'd do that, while I'm sitting watching television or watching YouTube. I can sit and stitch that stuff together. Now, when it comes to actually quilting, I'm probably going to have to use the machine. Because I don't think I can hand quilt that. So, sorry about getting quiet. I'm concentrating. But I kind of like this music. I'll have to subscribe to them. Yeah. Yeah, but I decided to work on my gold lion cross stitch last night. I hadn't worked on that one in a while. It's been several months, as a matter of fact. I think I'm going to start going through all of the bags that I've got. And I've got projects and stuff that I've worked on. And I'm going to see if I can find that cat in the bushes that I lost. I must have put it in one of them bags and just didn't realize it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hunt that thing up and see if I can find it and finish it, because it was almost done. Okay? And so I'm going to see if I can find it. Yeah, I've been going through stuff and getting rid of, excess stuff, clothes that I don't wear or worn out and whatnot. They're not good enough for Goodwill or a thrift store, right? But they're not good, they're all, stained up and got holes in them and stuff like that. Usually I just use them to sleep in, but I figure it's time to get rid of them. They're wore out. So I've been going through stuff like that in my drawers and trying to get rid of some of this stuff that is accumulating. So I figured the best thing to do is just pack it up in a bag and take it off, get rid of it. Let the trash guys deal with it. Uh, yeah, Frankie's sitting at the head of the bed with her head stuck around the curtain looking out the window. She loves to watch out the window. But the birds and stuff, they have a privacy fence along that side, and the birds get up on the privacy fence and sing and twitter and all of that, and she likes to watch them. So, well, so far today, the temperature's not that bad today. Let me look real quick. Oh, yeah, where did it go? Hmm. Sometimes it cooperates and sometimes it don't. Okay. In this area, right, which I live in the Chickamauga area, it's 92 degrees right now. But the quality of the air is not bad. But, you know, but it still has to, hold on, let me refresh that. There we go. Yeah, it's still 92. And, but being in an air conditioner, it's not too bad. I won't pop out again until the sun goes down. And after the sun goes down, when it gets about 10:30 at night, then I let the girls out and, put them on their leashes, put them out on the porch for a while, let them chase bugs or whatever. It's pretty much what they do. And I leave them out for, I don't know, a couple hours. And then I bring them back in uh, and close the house up. And we go on to bed. Or at least they do. Let's put it that way. Because I had a restless night last night. I just couldn't sleep. No, I had drank a cup of decaffeinated tea, thinking maybe that would help, but it didn't. So, mm, yeah, I have to kind of limit my caffeine intake, and so that's why I don't drink sodas too much, because most sodas have caffeine in it. And so I usually drink a Crystal Light, the sugar-free stuff, and most of it doesn't have any caffeine. Unfortunately, I have to be careful of my intake because if I drink too much caffeine, I end up staying up, end up getting wired actually, and then I can't sleep at all. So anyway, you understand my youngest brother is up visiting Gatlinburg, him and his wife. We just happened to see it because they had, they're. I got them on my Facebook, and they were posting some stuff from Gatlinburg. So, yeah, they still travel a little bit. Not as much as they used to, but anyhow, so. It almost that music almost reminds you of the some of the music they played in what is it? Some of the Harry Potter movies. That's what it kind of reminds you of. I ought to get out my Harry Potter books and read them again. I haven't read them in a long time. Yeah, I like Harry Potter. Mm. Okay, we're almost done with the J's. See, I'm going right up to this barrier. I'm only going up so far, and then I'll turn to a different drill. And once I get this part filled, then I'll go further out. But in the meantime, we're just going to go up to that spot that where the sheet is. So I got this the cover sheet, and it's right here. And so I'm only going up to the cover sheet, which is fine. I know I'm working kind of slow. My hands hurting a little bit. So I need to take some more Tylenol. But I try not to take Tylenol until I absolutely have to. I don't want to build up a resistance. Besides, it's not good to take a whole lot of pain medications because it messes around with your liver. And I don't need any help with that. I'm already diabetic. So I don't need any help with messing with my liver and my kidneys and stuff. We're almost done with the J's. And so we're not doing too bad. Time is okay. I try to keep my videos no more than about an hour. You know, and that way I don't have that much trouble uploading them. Now, last week I did like 3 different videos, right? And I could only get 2 of them to upload. No, 1 of them to upload, and I ended up deleting 2 of them because no matter what I did, I couldn't get them to upload for some reason. I guess I picked a time when the internet was very busy or whatever. I don't know. and I just could not. It kept telling me that the upload failed. So I finally gave up and deleted it and waited and then a few hours and then did another one, and and that one failed to upload as well. And then by the third time, I finally got it to upload. But so I don't know what the deal was there. I don't know. Sometimes it'll upload really quick. Other times, not so much. You know. Yeah, what I think was thinking about doing was trying to get a actual camera that I can use for making videos, and then when they have lives, I could go up on the live and be able to see the chat room and um, the picture of what everybody's doing at the same time. But I think I need an extra camera is what I need. And so, well, that's a little bit later down the road. Yeah, I want to get a new tablet, a small tablet. I've been looking at this one, and it's by Lenovo, and I believe it's an 8-inch. It's either 8 or 9 inches, I don't remember. The one I've got right now is a 10-inch, but it's it's overloaded. It's got all of this stuff and stuff on it, and it doesn't have that much memory, and so it plays little tricks. It's tricky. And so I need to get a new one, more updated, I think. And the one I'm looking at that I'm looking at has got it's got expandable memory to where you can add a like a SIM card to it, and it gives you a lot more storage space. Right, whereas mine is very, very limited. Right now, I think it's only got three or 4 gigs, something like that, megabytes or whatever they call it. Anyway, and unfortunately, all of that memory has been pretty much used up. And I've been, cleaning it and getting junk off of it and deleting stuff, and it's still not doing any good. It's wore out and needs to be replaced. Then on top of that, it has a cracked screen where it got dropped and it hit just right and cracked the screen. So like I said, I've got to get a new one. And so I might be able to get a new one maybe this next month. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I think we got all the J's. Looks like. Yep. There's one. Sitting there all by itself. Right. Because the rest of these blues, all right, got a lot of 6s over in here. I don't see any more J's. Pull this back a little bit so I use that one. There we go. All right. Alrighty, I think we're done with those. Alrighty, let me put this away. Ugh. Yeah. For some reason they spilled. There we go. Alrighty. How about we do C? We got a lot of those too. 3804 is 22. 22 right there. Well, there's not very many of them, are there? Let's see, 22, right? Yeah. Sometimes these things get a little tight. Just a little. Get that out of the way. I'll get my dryer sheet out of there. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is like a real, kind of like a light red almost. 3804. So, yeah, with between the heat and the rain here lately, I've not been able to sit out on the porch. It's just way too hot out there, too humid, and then on top of that, then plus it rains. So I've been kind of stuck indoors here lately. But I'll be glad when the fall gets here, when it's not quite, when it cools down a little bit. My favorite time of the year is early in the spring and the fall. Those are my two favorite times of the year. I mean, I like the winter too, don't get me wrong, but as long as I can stay in and stay warm. But I say we're here in Georgia, we don't have the massive swing in the seasons. You know, we don't have heavy snow and that kind of thing. We're lucky if we get 2 or 3 inches. You know, and that's every now and then. It's not regular. It's just every now and then. I remember one year is just before I retired, and I was riding with my son-in-law to back and forth to work at the time, and we were driving. I can't remember. It was some kind of Nissan, but it was low to the ground. I think it was a Nissan. Anyhow, and it was real close to it was a low rider type car. It wasn't real high up above the ground. It rode kind of low, and we ended up with a heavy snow that day and that night, and We ended up using the front of the car like a snow plow because we're so close to the ground that we're actually plowing snow with the nose of the and the under part of the bumper to move the snow because where we live, we are always the last to get any assistance on the roads when it comes to snow. You know, we don't live in a city and whatnot, and so we end up kind of getting stuck. If we have a heavy snow, like during the night, and then we want to try to get out the next morning, we can't get out because the snow is piled up at the edge of the driveway, and we can't get over the snow. Not until they come by and salt the roads and whatnot. And so we kind of, if we get a heavy snow, we're kind of stuck, you know, because most of the cars at that time, most of us were driving low riding cars, and we didn't have pickup trucks at the time. And I know my daughter said the next time vehicle she gets, it's going to be a tall SUV. So that way she can get in and out of the, whether it's snow, whether we have snow or not. So we're open. Yeah, that was the year before I retired. And we got about 9.5 inches of snow, something like that, which is unusual for this area. We usually don't get that much snow. Not usually. This isn't looking too bad. It's slowly coming together. And so in this area, our winters aren't that bad. It's not like it is up further north. Up further north, I tell you what, they get hit heavy with the snow. Yeah, we were kind of like on this belt that we get a little bit of snow, but not a lot. But just north of us, they get real heavy snows. And but still, again, it's not like like Michigan or Canada or something like that. But it's still it gets a little heavy once you get up into the state of Tennessee and just a little bit north of Chattanooga. That's kind of like where the barrier is, and north of that barrier is what I call snow country. Whereas south of it, we just get a lot of rain and a lot of cold. Okay, now we get the ice rather than snow. We get ice. So I like this music. It's nice and happy kind of thing. But luckily, we don't get it as badly as, say, northern Tennessee and up in Kentucky and places like that. They get it pretty heavy. something tickling my nose. I'm trying to sneeze. That doesn't look too bad. It's getting there. Yeah. I'll have this done in no time if I keep working at it. Yeah, yeah, I gotta go out and put all our dinner away. I was sitting there letting it cool, and now I can put it in containers and put it in the refrigerator. Yeah, she does the cooking, and I usually put it away, and that way it doesn't get ruined because of the heat. So, but I figure I'd give it at least an hour, let it cool, and then I'll go out there and put it in containers and put it in the fridge. Yeah. But we're getting there, little by little. Mm. Yeah, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to take my roller and roll these drills because I got some that keep popping off right over here in this corner. So, we're almost done here. We're getting there. But I don't want to stay on here too long because I'm sure you got other things to do. And then on top of that, I've got to put dinner away. And then I've got to move a load of laundry to the dryer. So I got a little bit to do. So, yeah, I'm just about done here. You know, um, these drills are really shining. And that's unusual to me, at least to me it is. Coming from Timo, you know. A lot of times they don't have the real bright shining drills. But for some reason this one does. Alright, I'm just about done here. Okay, we're done. At least for now. So I'm going to uh, put these away. Come here. Yep. There we go. Okay, and we're gonna call it a day for now. And then I'm going to go do my chores, get that out of the way. Okay, let's put these away. Stay. What the hell? There it is. Okay, we're done. So we're gonna close it for now. We'll let you go. So y'all have a good day, and hopefully you'll be able to stay out of this heat, and and uh, and you'll have a good day and that kind of good stuff. So you take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and don't forget, God loves you. All right, bye bye. God bless you.